So we've learned a lot about the take three method over the last several minutes here. What did that mean for you personally?
It was huge. You know, it's kind of, I mean, number one, it's us. So I've got to look at it like on one side, why we turn the ball over. But again, on the other side, if you are +3 in a game, you're going to win 93% of the games. And so to get to +3, you've got to take 3. And so that's the whole, like, we talk about it every day. It's on the plan to win. I believe it's number 3 on the plan to win. And I thought the guys did a phenomenal job of attacking the ball. You know, could have had another one. I think there was 4, could have had a 5th on the goal line. You know, 2 of the plays were, you know, really good, clean, physical hits that knocked the ball out. I mean, it's take. It doesn't say, you know, we're going to, the turnovers, we need 3 turnovers. It says take the ball away. And so I thought we did that as a defense.
Coach, first time out there, was it everything you kind of expected?
It was really you know, it was a great moment. You know, my wife sends me a text this morning and says, good luck. And I said, well, I'm just kind of the administrator today. You know, I would just kind of stay back and made a lot of notes and you know, watched our guys and just over the headset, hey, I need to see this, I need to see this. And I thought the coaches did a phenomenal job. I thought the players did a phenomenal job of what we asked. But it was great. You know, I just heard Rashad say it whenever I saw our guys in game uniforms. I mean, you know, I'm not going to lie to you, my adrenaline got pumping, my heart got pumping even more because it does. It just means that we're that much closer to getting ready to play real games.
Coach, on Tuesday you did mention that Nehemiah, you know, he's one of those kids that just goes after it constantly. After today, a touchdown for him, how much potential does he have? How much to you personally?
Well, I think you're fixing to talk to him. The one thing that I really like about Nehemiah is he's bought in. He has changed his body. You think about that touchdown. There was 2 guys that hit him. They were in good position. I wished, you know, that we would have wrapped up better, but whenever a guy's that physical and has done what he's done in the weight room, then you tend to bounce off tackles like that, and that's what he did. And then he got vertical and scored. And so, man, he's kind of like who we are. I mean, if you're talking about, like we talked about the brand the other day, I mean, he is the toughest guy. I mean, he's just tough. He works hard. You know, he's one of those guys that you love to root for because he comes to work every day.
And today you guys were rotating through the 3 quarterbacks.
Right.
What did you see out of each one of them today?
Well, you know, one thing that we did on both sides, so if you came to the scrimmage last week, we had a lot of stuff on. You know, as far as checking at the line, which we did a little bit today, change the snap count. The defense was really active, showing a lot of our exotic blitzes. Today, we were trying to be a little bit more simple. So we took some of the stuff that they could go to off just because we didn't want to show it, and we wanted to try to have a fairly clean game. We knew there would be some things that, you know, wouldn't go exactly the way we wanted. I was proud of all of them. You know, it's one of those deals that it's a race. Nobody, whenever we started, if you look at it, it was kind of the oldest to the next oldest to the next oldest. So Shuck got the first group. Donovan got that second group because he's I guess a true sophomore, or I don't know exactly what he is, true junior. And then Barron got in there, and then they just started rotating through. And we knew how we'd work out that way. So I was pleased. The other thing that we all got to remember is that we have dual threat quarterbacks. So they know I'm going to get, now we had one that was just totally clean when Barron ran that one in, but they know I'm going to get upset if they run the football to pick up yards, because that doesn't help us defensively and it doesn't help us offensively when they're not live. And so there's a lot of things that they can do that would have really got them in an even greater rhythm with their feet if we were allowing them to do it.
Do you have a leader in the clubhouse going into the summer?
Man, I really don't. You know, I was kind of hoping, but if you go back and Kitley can kind of tell you, and he could tell you off of this, I mean, it's really has been even throughout. That's not good or bad, because at first you'd be like, well, you wish somebody would step forward and kind of take it, and one of them will. We'll evaluate, you know, this game, and we'll look at what they've done, you know, throughout spring to see if we're ready to name one. I will tell you, and just to be honest with all of you, I'm not naming one because I'm there's a lot of people right now that are not naming quarterbacks because they're worried about one of them would jump in the portal or something like that. Our guys are really competitive, and they love Texas Tech. And so I'm not worried about that if I named one tomorrow. I just think that where we're at, we probably, we got to look at this game and see what they did well and what we can improve on, and then continue from there.
Coach, is there anyone today that was your personal MVP of the game?
Well, Plunk had a lot of tackles. He got the ball down. If you go through and you see where defensives over the years where they've got, okay, we haven't been very good, and all of a sudden they get better and better, it's you limit explosive plays. And so as a defense, of course you want negative plays, you want sacks, you want turnovers, but you also want an offense that takes snaps to make them be so disciplined that they have to drive the field. And so I think what you saw a lot with our secondary guys, you said something about Nehemiah's touchdown. That was one that we didn't get the ball down. And so if you look, like even whenever we had we didn't get the ball in on the end zone, right there going into half, is because we got the ball down and we made them take snaps. And I thought Plunk did a good job. Demetri Moore had a really good scrimmage. Krishan had a good scrimmage. I'm telling you, Jay Boog is like the constant just, hey, I'm going to come out and play football and be good today, and that's every day.
Coach, what about your kickers and punters, their consistency?
I'm glad you asked it. So, Wolf missed a 56-yarder, but made a 56-yarder. And Lanny came out, I think his was at 32. What was awesome about that, and it was a bad snap, bad hold, he still put it through. And Gino, I think he was a 48, 49, very consistent. There was a really good punt into the wind that flipped the field by, Austin. We've got a really, really strong unit. And I think we had a great kicker leave, and it kind of sent a lot of people in a panic. And I think you saw today that we've got dudes. We've got guys that are going to go out and kick field goals and help us win football games. And I feel really comfortable about throwing those guys out there.
But Garibay was here today. Was he?
Yeah, I saw him. I gave him a hug. I still love him. Hey, I'm rooting like, in the next week, I'm rooting like for all these guys. We want them to get drafted. It's only better for us. It's great for them being Red Raiders, and it's better for us, in recruiting to be able to show that these guys are coming here and they're being developed and they're going to the next level.
Coach, when you have a guy like Rashad say, when it comes to leadership, that if he's going to take it, what does that say to you about your locker room and your leadership and your veterans and how they're building this football team?
Well, he's been really challenged to be, if you look at him, that's an NFL corner. I think we have three of them. Whenever you look at Malik and you look at Adrian, they all have good length. They can run. We want them to be faster. We want them to be stronger. We're going to develop that. But he has been really challenged this spring to, if you want to be serious about playing at the next level, then your mindset has to flip. And he has really done it. When I walked in, when I called him the $1 million man, is because, that's where corners like him, that's an easy signing bonus for a 6-foot+ corner. If you come out and you put tape that you can play at the next level.
But when he talks about leadership, that really has to please you as a coach, though, right?
It does, and I think it's because he understands he has got to step up, because it's all, I told him today, man, it's all about what we do as a group, and he's one of those guys that he's really risen to the challenge.
Coach DeRuiter, you guys at the end of the Matador song,
Yep.
talk about visualization, you running out of that home tunnel for the first time this upcoming fall. Did you get goosebumps just, kind of thinking about it when you guys actually do it for real in the fall?
It was awesome because Franks was singing like crazy behind me. So I was like, all right, man, this is awesome. I'll stand right by you and, drown out my bad voice. It was cool. It's a great moment. We've had so many Lettermen. We have a ton of Lettermen here today. We had a great group last night in the golf tournament. And it was a really good moment for my family that was here, and it was a great moment for us to get on the field and be around the Red Raiders and show that I've told everybody we're a work in progress. We're not where we're going to be, but I promise you we're going in the right direction.
Coach, just how impressive was Blake Bedwell today, and just kind of all runs he was able to move off?
Well, there's two young running backs that probably have got their butts chewed by me more than anybody in spring, and it's him and Cameron. And both of those guys, we talk about the dirty four. You know, a dirty 4 yards turns into big runs. Like, you don't have to get back there and dance all the time. You got to be physical. And I said, hey, man, you're not very big, so there's cracks in there you can stick it up in and friggin' get dirty 4. And you saw that today. Both of them, I thought, did a really good job of running vertical. And it was good. I mean, he's a West Texas kid, so I hope nobody's surprised that he's tough and, you know, wants to play in the red and black.
You kind of just mentioned it before too, but I guess what's next for you and this group of guys after the spring game?
So we have player evaluations on Monday and Tuesday, and then the coaches hit the road on Wednesday. I think I'll be everywhere in May. I know I'm going to be in Houston on Monday and Dallas on Thursday and Fort Worth on Friday, and, you know, just trying to get through all the record tours and see all of our fan base. And then the guys, they have finals. They'll get about 3 weeks off, and then June and July, we're about to really grind. We have a whole nother cycle that we can be a really, really strong football team, and the stronger we get, the more physical we'll be.
Got time for about 2 more.
Being able to kind of fully focus on recruiting, what's the biggest asset that you think you need to bring in when you go out and look for guys?
Well, the biggest thing we're looking for guys that want to be Red Raiders and understand how important that is. Whenever you look at just like numbers, we still got a couple spots that we want in the D-line. We'll take at least 1, maybe 2 more receivers. We're going to take another running back. And so really focusing on that. If you look, we're really fast right now in that class, and that's what we're going to recruit. We're going to recruit really big guys, and we're going to recruit really fast guys, and so that's what we're trying to do.
Coach DeRuiter mentioned on Thursday wanting the guys to play fast, clean, and violently.
Yeah.
Do you think he was pleased with the defense's effort today?
I think he was. You know, there's some guys that played really hard. There were some guys that got a little banged up and still played extremely hard. And then there's guys that we held out that definitely can add to that and make an impact. You know, I mean, you've got 2 guys that had really good springs, one early, and then we set him out in Tyree. And then Josiah Pierre, you know, he had a sprained foot, and we didn't want to put him in any situation he wasn't full speed, but that dude's had a phenomenal. So you even add, what we saw today, you even add some guys that can really help us.
What was it that Tyree hurt?
His back. And it was a deal that where we were at a point to where, number one, we didn't want it to get worse, nothing but rest, and then 2, if you don't know what Tyree can do, you don't know a lot about football, and I know we all do. I mean, y'all saw him in that Liberty Bowl game, and so it's one of those deals of like, it's like so if we were playing week 1, Tyree would have played today, Roderick would have played today, Josiah would have played today. I'm sure there's a couple more, but those 3, just off the top of my head, they would have all played today if we were playing, you know, in a game, and they did not want to be out. They, you know, had a bad look at me and wanted to play, but it was like, hey, we've got bigger things in front of us. For you guys that have played a lot of snaps, you got to think those guys have played a lot of football, so we want to protect them.
What's the center position looking like to you right now? What did you learn over the last 15 practices?
You know, we started off with Dennis at guard, and he did a really good job at center. He started today. You know, he and Franks. The one that will be in the battle in the fall is Kay Briggs. Cole Spence is also snapping. And so we're going to have those 4 guys, you know, play center, and it's almost like the quarterback who's going to win it out, you know, because that's as critical a position as what there is on offense, is because they get the play started. And so we'll continue to grow there. But the one thing is we had a couple guys that are going to get some reps there that didn't go through spring.
Coach, being able to sit back and kind of take it all in today, if you had to grade out the effort overall as a team, A, B, C, D, what are you giving them?
God, that's hard. I got to watch film to give you a full. I mean, I'm all about effort. Like, I always tell people I can close my eyes and see what football is supposed to look like. And what it's supposed to look like, if you think about it, this is going to sound crazy, but when you put your foot in an ant bed and just everything just swarms you, that's what football is supposed to look like to me. And so I had to really look at the film. The want to is there, so I'd probably give it a B. For what you will see and what we're going for, I'd probably, and not a bad C, but to get that way, all 11 people, their threshold of playing really fast for a number of snaps, you know, they feel good about that because that's what they've done. Now they're here, because we've pushed them farther, it's our job to get them to where their comfort zone is, man, I can play this fast. And the depth that we can create helps us play fast, because we're going to play, again, once everybody's together, this team looks a lot different too, because we're going to play anywhere from 18 to 22 guys on defense. And so it's easy to play faster when you're playing that many guys on defense. And then we'll play a good number at running back, and we'll play a good number at receiver.
What do you make of, or what should be made of Tyler's 2 picks today?
The first one, you've got 2 guys that one wanted the ball more than the other. If you go back and watch that play, the DB wanted the ball more than the receiver because it was taken. So was he, I got to look at it on film, but from my perspective, did he come out of his break hard enough? Did his head come around hard enough? Was his hands extended? Because Rashad took that ball. Like, he broke on the ball and he went and took that ball. So, and then I got to go back and look, did Tyler get it out on time? That one is the one that you're like, hey, we can't do that. The one in the end zone, I mean, I will tell you, we talk all the time on defense, tip balls in the red zone are interceptions. If they're not, we're not playing fast enough. So whenever you get a batted ball, whether it doesn't matter who the quarterback is, it was a great job. I think it was Blake Burris that had the tip, and then D-Lou had the interception and had a great job returning it. What was good on that sequence, even though we missed the field goal, if you go back and you just talk about how the game's going to be played, turnover, only had this much time, go out, kick the field goal. We had the distance, but I think it was to the right. The first one is the one that is the big one that you got to really look and say, did you get it out on time? What were you looking at? And then who wanted the ball more? Because most of the time interceptions are a mixture of all 3, the quarterback, the receiver, and the DB or linebacker.
So you guys had a pick 6 right out of the gate. How did that set the tone for the defense for the rest of the game?
They gave us energy throughout the rest of the game. Like, starting off with a big play, we carried that momentum throughout.
How did it feel to be back at the Jones? You guys have been grinding a new era with Coach McGuire, so kind of just express the emotions of being back today.
It's always good being in the Jones, different experience. It's better than being on the practice field. It's like we bring more energy in the Jones.
And how was that energy expressed today in the Jones? What has been the philosophy for you guys at practice and now out on the field?
High tempo, always running to the ball for the defense, making sure we taking shots on the ball, trying to take 3.
Was there anything on your side of the ball that you noticed maybe a little ahead of schedule, just coming into finally like kind of a more game environment here with the spring game?
I didn't get your question. Can you say it one time?
Did you find anything on your side of the ball to be a little bit more ahead of schedule as you get ready for the season?
Probably us taking the ball away this early. Like, we really adapting to Coach McGuire's theme, take 3.
Can you elaborate on what take 3 might be?
So take 3 is basically we trying to get 3 takeaways, and he really been harping on getting those takeaways.
Two interceptions, 1 fumble recovery. With that proceeding, how do you take those 3 turnovers and use it to propel you guys for the year?
So say we get 3 takeaways a game, that's gonna put us at number 1, be the best defense in the Big 12.
Krishan, with Colin and Rico gone, and plus Morgan Stern and Brandon Moyer-Randall, what kind of approach did you take this spring, being one of the few veterans in the linebacker room?
I would say I took more of a leader approach, really getting on my teammates, really studying the plays, and keeping my nose to the ground, make sure I'm doing what's right.
What does Dimitri Moore bring to the linebacker room?
I would say he brings energy. Like, he actually matches my energy, so he's a good asset to us.
Krishan, you're able to get to the quarterback today. How does that feel to get back there and make a play?
It always feels good to make a play. It just brings a new excitement. So making a big play, celebrating with my teammates, building that brotherhood camaraderie with our brothers.
Krishan, what's the biggest takeaway you take for the defense today and what you can kind of build on moving into the summer and the fall?
I would say taking the field with more aggression. So letting people know that we here. Like, as soon as we take the field, get out there fast.
So now there's the big break between now and and fall. How do you use this break to get ready and prepare for the season?
I would say, for me personally, go even harder. Study the play, stay in the playbook, work out extra hard, work on things I need to work on, talk to my coach, see what he wants me to work on, things like that.
Where do you think you are and the rest of the defense is compared to where you need to be in the fall?
I say the biggest room in the world is room for improvement. So it's always room for improvement. So we always could get better.
Rashad, just starting off, being able to start off the game like that with a bang, can you just run us through that pick six and how it felt for the defense to start with that momentum?
It felt great. That's one thing we was talking about before the game, just take three, and being able to do that and start off the momentum for the game was definitely a big thing, and definitely gave us a lot of energy for the day.
How'd you feel about the overall defensive effort today? It seemed like you guys were really sharp out there.
Oh, I loved it. The energy was great. You know, it was all over the field. A lot of plays being made, a lot of stops on third downs and fourth downs. It was really exciting today.
On your interception, since you guys are obviously going against the offense every day, did you have an idea of what was coming there?
Not as much. It's just more so reaction. Just trying to make sure I lock into the ball when it's coming my way and actually catch the ball this time and, you know, focus in.
Y'all have been grinding over the past couple months at practice, or at the facility. How nice was it to finally put on the uniform, be out at the Jones, and actually be in action today?
I felt good. It felt real good. I was excited when we walked in the locker room this morning. I seen a jersey up. I'm like, okay, we getting closer and closer to this season, so it was definitely exciting.
Explain the take three mindset for us.
Just making sure we get 3 turnovers before the end of the game, if not more than 3. So just having that mindset to where no matter what we do, we got to get 3 turnovers today.
Rashad, what was your biggest takeaway from the defense overall today, and something maybe y'all want to get better at this summer and into the fall?
Mainly just more communication-wise. Everything else I've seen between us, I mean, our relationships and the veterans that we have on this team, I mean, it's not so much I can say we have to work on, but just more communication and just getting better and better every day.
You mentioned you had a lot of energy today. How was the team feeling? Were they like you going into the locker room today?
Oh yeah, everybody was. I seen a lot of smiles, a lot of excitement. So it made me feel good. It made everybody around, and gave the coaches a good warm feeling. So we all excited.
How comfortable is the secondary defensive back since all you guys have played so much?
Very comfortable. I mean, we come to the sideline and we're able to critique each other, and everybody listens and listen in, and just have that understanding, because everybody knows that everybody been playing football for a while, and everybody has a certain respect for everybody. So we all listen to each other and make sure that we take in everything.
For the defense, per se, what do you think the it factor will be for you guys this season?
Just staying consistent, making sure that we learn the X's and O's of the game, watching film, and just staying hungry throughout the entire season.
I mean, there were times last year, the Baylor game, the bowl game, where you guys stood up and played real well, and there were games like Texas and TCU. How do you get that consistency, or how do you kind of build on what you've learned this spring?
Just the extra work this year, making sure that we do that extra work, making sure that we do that extra film, that watching last year's game and learning from all our mistakes. So we're making sure that this year we're going to stay consistent all throughout ways of just bettering ourselves on the field.
Rashad, do you feel kind of a responsibility being one of the veteran guys to kind of be a leader on the defense out there?
Definitely. I'm gonna take the role if I have to. Just making sure that everybody around me understands and what we got in hand and what to do with techniques and everything that's everything possible for us to get out of this outcome. So definitely.
I think you mentioned a moment ago on your interception, you said you were just focusing on making sure you hung on to it and took advantage of the opportunity, right?
Right. Yes, sir.
Was you thinking about, like the one against Baylor last year where you had it,
Yeah,
and got away from you?
Yeah, I dropped it up. So that's all this about this year, making sure trying to get as many take threes as possible. So just being that leader, pretty much.
Got time for about 2 more.
Nehemiah, how was it for you to, get in the end zone? You're a hometown kid. Did it give you goosebumps just thinking about catching your first touchdown at the Jones?
Nah, it's just we do it all the time. It's a normal thing. Of course, it felt good, especially on TO. Got to put that in there. But yeah, it felt good.
You probably grew up coming to these games too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Did it
for
feel
sure.
good that you were actually out there doing, I guess, what you watched as a kid?
Oh yes, sir. Of course. You know, being able to come out here after watching this, growing up, being from here, you know, going to the games, it was kind of cool. You know, it's the little stuff like after the game, somebody comes, like a little kid comes up to me, wants me to sign something. You know, that was me at spring games, and so you know, I always enjoy that.
There were a couple plays where the wide receivers made some really nice catches and big plays. What can you just say as the group as a whole now that spring ball is over?
We definitely got a lot to improve on. We've improved a lot over the spring. You know, Coach Jones is going to demand more from us, you know, like any good coach would. We just got to become more dominant, I would say, you know, more aggressive and more dominant as a group.
Nehemiah, the coaches have really been hyping you up this whole offseason. How much has your confidence grown, and what areas do you think you've really grown the most?
I would say my confidence probably stayed the same because, you know, I don't like to let what other people think of me determine where my confidence is at. But, you know, it was definitely a little bit of a boost. And I'm sorry, I didn't get the second half of
No,
that.
you're okay. What areas have you grown the most this past spring season?
Probably being, I would say being more dominant as far as the ball, you know, taking care of the ball, get into the ball, like, you know, when the ball's in the air, it's mine. So that's a mindset that I feel like I've started to develop this spring.
Joey said that people should buy the number 20 jersey. Whose jersey did you have when you were a kid?
I had Graham Harrell jersey. I had a number 6 Graham Harrell jersey whenever I was younger.
Yeah. And you said you got some autographs. Do you remember any particular moment
I remember
you got to sign for you?
I'm pretty sure I got something signed from Davis Webb. You know, that group of guys. I don't know, it was a shirt I had, and they had all signed it one day. They were all at tables and stuff. Just went from guy to guy, you know, trying to get whoever, no matter, I just want everybody to sign it. And my little brother had gotten something signed from Weston.
So that was after a spring game also out here?
I'm pretty sure it was.
Did you always want to be a Red Raider growing up?
Oh yeah, whenever I was young, you know, I wanted to be a Red Raider. And then, you know, I got into high school, and that didn't really work out for me. And then I'm here now, so, you know, I'm happy.
You know, the touchdown pass that you caught from was passed by Donovan Smith, Friendship Tigers. So really just seeing the Hub City really represent, how awesome is it, and how much of a role model do you think you two are to the Hub City kids here?
I think it's huge because I think Tech had a rep of, you know, not recruiting the 806, not giving kids a chance and stuff like that. So, you know, I mean, that's something that I had always known, like, you know, Texas Tech, they don't really recruit us, you know. So, I mean, that was something that, it was like that back then, but I think nowadays it's like, man, like, we're from here, like, so kids like, man, I want to go there, I want to do it, you know. So, yeah, I think it's important, and I like that.
Do you hope that guys like you and Donovan can kind of be flag bearers going forward to make sure that you keep recruiting around here?
Oh, yes, sir, for sure. I think it gives kids from the 806 a different type of motivation, too.
Did you play a game or two against Donovan when you were in high school?
Yes, sir. I played him one time, and it was our senior year. I can't give him that dub because I was a little banged up, so that's a little argument we always have in the locker room. Yes, sir.
What would Coach Darden say to you after a game like this today?
He'd probably say, he'd just come up to me and say, I'm proud of you, buddy, good job, you know, keep it up, something like that.
What was Coach Kitley's assessment of the offense overall today from your perspective?
We didn't really talk to him. We didn't get to talk to him after the game, but
I guess from your perspective, how do you feel like you guys did it as a group?
I would say that we did pretty good. I mean, there's definitely going to be a lot of things that we'll be able to pick at and say this could have been better, stuff like that. But I mean, I think it was a good way to end the spring. We got a lot of improvement to come.
Coach talked about how you kind of like changed your body over the spring, and obviously showed in that touchdown you broke a couple tackles. Can you kind of just tell us what that work has been that you put in, you know, this spring, if that's true that you changed your body?
Yeah, I just think it's a new program, new strength, and it's a new type of program, and one of their big focuses has just been strength, like pure strength. And so, you know, we did an off season. It was a real off season. It was tough. You know, it was a good type of tough. In here, we was working for real, just hard. So I mean, that's on the strength staff. We just come up, show up, and they do all the work.
Nehemiah, what would be your advice? They mentioned that you kind of setting the tone for 806 kids being able to get recruited here now. What would your advice be to kids in the 806 that maybe want to try to play for Tech someday?
I mean, you can do it. Like, you just got to have that type of belief in yourself, and you got to work for it. And being from here, you're going to have to work harder for it than, you know, kids in Dallas or kids in the Metroplex or stuff like that. You're going to have to work harder than they do, because the stigma is we don't play against nobody. The competition's not as hard, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, just go get it, and you can do it from here, anywhere, it doesn't matter.
What type of attitude do you think 806 recruits bring to the table, especially in their hometown college?
You know that, you know, from here, like I was saying, the stigma of we don't play anybody, so that anybody who does come here from here, you know, you had to work that much harder, because there is that stigma, there's not competition here and stuff like that. So you're just tough. Like, someone from here is going to be tough, and they're going to want to get better all the time. And they don't usually have that mentality of, you know, I'm this or I'm that. It's more of a, I got to get it no matter where I go.
As one of the younger guys, how helpful was it of the veterans helping you out, and what was the most important thing that you took away from them?
Honestly, it wasn't, I mean, you know, they were good. Like, whenever I first came in here, you know, I was convinced normally a running back. And so just being able, like, you know, Miles, Max Rigdon and them, they helped me, Sterling, they helped me with my craft, like, you know, getting that extra work in, teaching me, like, the little ends, and, like, there's a lot of little stuff with receivers. And so, you know, they helped me a lot coming in.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Nehemiah.
Thank you.